Raise your hand if you think Toronto Maple Leafs are going to win the Stanley Cup this year. Boston Bruins. Oh, you guys are way off. It's going to be the Bruins. It's a future pro goalie there, Jeremy Swayman.
I got that wow. Who wants some hands up right now? We got that. Turn it up loud. I know you're wondering how. I got that wow. Here I go. Here I go.
Switch aside. Here we go.
I can't ever stop.
That's it. Hey, he's got equipment on. You can shoot it, eh? Don't bridge your knee. Seal the bottom. Put them both down. Two more. Two more. Get out on him. Grab that extra real estate. Gather your depth. Ready? Here we go, Raven. Good job, Macker. Got some good saves in the video.
I don't know why I do that.
Yeah, a lot of goalies will put more weight on one knee than the other, and they leave the other leg bridged, which creates that hole. And I don't even know if he was actually aiming for it, but pucks tend to find holes even when they're not trying to get it. Yeah. Even a guy like Pecorine would still be 1.5 feet out of that white ice at 6'5". So if you know he's got no lateral or backdoor passing threat, you want... If this guy's that wide open, you don't need to RVH because he's going to get it back. Now, if he's the only guy that's the side net guy and everybody else is tied up, RVH would work fine because he's going to do a quick power wrap or a little walkout there. So you got to read the circumstance. How many of you are the last human being off the ice before the Zamboni runs you over and chews you up into pieces of meat? So I took that advice to heart. And so as a professional, that's all I ever did. So I was one step out of the NHL, playing for the Milwaukee Admirals. I'd watch TV to see if any goalies got hurt for the Canucks because I know the phone would ring and I'd be getting called up that next day to the NHL. So I was always the first guy on the ice, last guy off. And as a professional, the rookies always stay out for 30 minutes to work on stuff anyways, and I was a rookie, and then I stayed extra even past that. I did that all season up until Christmas time. And then I had a little bit of a flu or cold or something going on. So I stayed out with the rookies for 20, 30 minutes. And then I wasn't physically the last guy off the ice. There was a guy named Gino Odjick. He was a fighter in the NHL. He's recently passed away, but he liked to stay out and work extra. So he was the last guy on the ice. So 4 months into the season, the very first practice that I wasn't the last guy off the ice, this happened. My head coach was a royal, you fill in the blank, named Ron Wilson. And I was the starting goalie in Milwaukee. And up until that point, 4 months into the season, he never looked at me. He never said a word to me. He never talked to me. He never said I was starting or I was backing up. It was always the assistant coach that would do that. He didn't even know I existed. And I was a starting goalie, best goalie in the minors. This is what he did that day that I came off the ice 5 minutes early because I was feeling sick. And to this day, this is all he's ever said to me. You with the toque on, you're going to be a young Steve McKeegan. Not quite as good looking, but you'll do. I'm sitting in the dressing room, taking my stuff off, battling the flu, whatever. He walks in the dressing room. Taking a few shortcuts today there, kid. And to this day, that's all he's ever said to me. Think of that. I was out on the ice first, last, all year. They notice goofy stuff like that. Like if you stop short of the blue line by this much. When they said go to the blue line, they don't mean go near the blue line. They mean blow it and go straight over it with your skate so there's no doubt. And I bring this stuff up to you not because I'm trying to be a goof. When we do the clinics, I'm telling you, go to the blue line. It's not for me. I don't give a, you know what? It's when you play junior hockey, when you play Division I, and the coach tells you to do something, he's not suggesting maybe try to do the best you can at it. What's he asking you to do? Blank and do it. Because that's what wins games. That's what wins championships. So take that advice to heart. And I want to leave you with one funny little story about my buddy Gino Odjick. This will be more for the adult in the room because you'll get this one. It's not off color. It's just you'll know the historical reference better because you're older. So I played with this Gino Odjick. He played for the Canucks, eventually had a great career, Pavel Bure's best friend. He was a fighter in the NHL, tough as nails, never lifted a weight. He would just beat people up through sheer force. But Gino was a sweetheart of a guy, one of my best friends. We got called up to the NHL together the first time. I love Gino. But he'd never been off the reserve in Oka much. He didn't know the world at all. He was very unworldly, didn't know things. So we're going to go play the Winnipeg Jets. And there's a big banner up in the arena because they knew he was coming. He had a big reputation, big fighter. They knew he was coming. He was in town to fight that night in Winnipeg. And this is right in the middle of the Gulf War. And are you guys familiar with a bad guy named Saddam Hussein? He was a world leader. He was a bad guy. They ended up capturing him, and it caused this whole war. He was a bad dude, Saddam Hussein. The sign up in the Winnipeg arena said, Gino Odjick, you're as tough as Saddam Hussein. Gino leaned over to me on the bench. He says, Keeker, what number's that Saddam Hussein? He thought he had to fight. He had no idea Saddam Hussein's a world leader in Iraq, that he wasn't some left winger for the Winnipeg Jets. He thought Saddam Hussein was somebody who's going to have to do that. Not a bright guy, but a great guy. Okay. Matt, get in there. We got to play one game here. Our summer camps have filled for over 30 years. Spots are limited. Every year it fills. I want you in our summer camp. Here's the difference with Future Pro summer camps. We have real credentials, real value, and real results. We talk about the credentials. This camp is run by school teachers, guys that have played and coached and scouted in the NHL. They've been there, done that. Our credentials are unparalleled. This is the only school you can go to with this level of credentials. At our summer camps, we give you real value. We give you 20 hours of ice time, video analysis, small group student ratio. It's the best in the business. We've been successful for 30 years because we run a great program run by teachers for the best value. Why come to summer camp with Future Pro? Because of the results. If you look, we've got 3 goalies in the NHL this year. Logan Thompson with Las Vegas. We've got Jack Campbell with Edmonton Oilers, and we got Jeremy Swayman with the Boston Bruins, plus all the kids we have in the OHL, college hockey, and over the last 30 years, our Hall of Fame is pretty immense. You can look into our website and you can see our Hall of Fame. Are you going to be next? We want to see you in our summer camps this year throughout southwestern Ontario. We have camps in London, Strathroy, and Goderich. We have many programs that fit your different levels, whether it's developmental level for the entry-level kids, advanced level, elite level, and the prospect camp, which is an application-only camp available to kids that are on their way, already playing high-level AAA, already playing junior, pro, etc. So if you want to find out about any of those levels, reach out to Future Pro now at info@futurepro.com, and I'll get back to you right away.